I'm going to have to start off this video by saying, Pete, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm not trying to convince you different. But since you want to get all up into what I'm doing, I just want to ask you some questions and make some points. Now that we've gotten that out the way, I just want to say, Pete, some of the things I hear you say don't seem like they would come out of the mouth of someone who is almost 30, or came from a privileged lifestyle, or is studying to be a doctor. Now let me say this before I go any further. I'm not saying that I don't believe you. I'm not trying to prove that you are from the ghetto or that you're not studying to be a doctor. I don't disbelieve you on that. I'm just trying to figure out why you say certain things. Anyway, of all the races, I think black people tend to be the most conspicuous consumers. When black people get money, they want everybody to know it. But even when black people don't have that much money, they still like to be conspicuous consumers. We're the only race of people who has clothing marketed to us with a big ass logo on the front of it so we can show everybody that we're wearing FUBU or Hilfiger or whatever else you're wearing these days. And they can't just wear a regular watch. They gotta have a watch with diamonds and pearls and rubies. They can't just have just a simple chain or necklace. It's gotta be a necklace with a big old charm on the end of it. If you got on jewelry, everybody needs to be able to know it. But I've noticed that black people who come from money, such as you, Sergeant Willie Pete, are a lot less like that. Because one, they're used to having money, so it's not that big a deal. Plus, they hang around and live around and go to school with people who also have money, so there's nobody to really show off to. Everybody's got money, so it's like everybody cancels each other out. Now, black people who are raised not having a lot of money, but then come into a big windfall, for example, if they become a celebrity or win the lottery or something like that, they still tend to consume very conspicuously just like the other blacks. But you come from money, but you still seem to be very interested in stunting and showing off. And I started noticing this when I listened to one of your last videos when you were talking about that you have a really cool car. I don't remember what kind of car you said it was, and I don't even know if you said the type of car that it was. But it must have been pretty nice if a white guy was coming up to you thinking that there was no way you could own it. Do you have that car because you really like that car and it was always your dream car, or do you have that car because nobody else has it and because it proves you have a lot of money? Do you buy Timberlands because you like how they fit your feet, or do you buy them because they're Timberlands? Now, those are just analogies to get to my real point. And again, I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not whining because you don't like average black women. But this mentality of showing off seems to bleed over into your choices in women. And I feel like I have to stress it one more time. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm just making a video. So don't come back with, oh, you just mad because I don't like you. I don't have to like you if I don't want to. You're absolutely right. I'm just making a video. You want to get all up into me? Now I'm going to get all up into you. Now I'm going to play a clip from your video.
Are you kidding me? Black male physician. You know what I'm saying? Good looking guy. What do you expect me to be with? With an average woman? The funny thing is the women are jumping up attacking me about me throwing away an average woman. But if I was a black male doctor and I was with an average woman, what do you think the first thing they would say if we ever went to like some type of convention or ball? They'd be like, why is he with her? She just okay. She ain't even all that fly. I mean, there's times when I think to myself, I'm like, damn, I gotta have a bad chick.
Why? Because you're a doctor? Let me tell you the types of men who are expected to have a quote-unquote bad chick. Public figures who are going to be getting their pictures taken a lot, like celebrities or athletes, or people like Tariq Elite who give Mac lessons. You know, he's supposed to be teaching the game, so he better have a fly chick on his arm at all times. Who's going to take advice from him if the best chick he could pull is somebody like Tashina Arnold from Martin? But as a doctor, you're just a regular person that gets paid a lot of money. Nobody's going to be following you around, taking your picture. And you said you live in Philadelphia. If you become a doctor and stay in Philadelphia, but you go vacation over in Las Vegas, nobody's going to know you from Adam. Who are all these people that you think are going to be following you around, critiquing your wife? You've got some delusions of grandeur, buddy. And for whatever reason, if you do actually have a group of people following you around yelling at you about your wife, tell them to get a life and go home. Why do you give a fuck what they have to say? I mean, people are always going to say stuff behind your back and whisper stuff under their breath, but as far as coming up to you and say, excuse me, Dr. Pete, you know your wife ain't all that cute. Come on. Who's going to even know that you're a doctor when you're walking out on the street? You're going to walk around with your lab coat all the time, or you're going to wear a sign, I'm a doctor, y'all. So this grandiose world that you've created where everybody's going to know you're a doctor wherever you go and be critiquing your wife unless you get the most beautiful chick ever is just absurd. There are two men who come to mind who you could probably identify with who have average looking wives, and they are more famous than you'll ever be. That's Obama and Denzel Washington. Now, people have written articles about how Michelle Obama ain't all that cute, but does Obama care? No. Michelle may not be the most beautiful woman in the world, but she's of a certain quality, and that matters more than her face. But anyway, let me get back to my real point. What is your obsession with looks above anything else? Now let me just say that in general, most men like beautiful women, but y'all take it to a whole nother level. For example, Prince Charles married Diana. She's a nice looking woman, but he didn't pick her up from just anywhere. She came from a very affluent family of a certain class. JFK married Jackie Bouvier. Again, a nice looking woman, but she didn't come from just anywhere. Again, affluent family of a certain class. Even Tiger Woods married a beautiful woman, but she didn't come from just anywhere. Yes, he wanted a beautiful woman, but he also wanted a woman of a certain class because being in the golf world, he's already an outsider being non-white. So if he wants to hang with the white boys, he needs a beautiful woman and a woman of a certain class. It would not have been acceptable for any of those men to pull a beautiful woman from a trailer park. They are looking for a certain class. I don't hear that from you, and a lot of black guys like you. And while I am well aware that success and degrees don't attract men, usually men still do look for someone on their level. Like a lot of times, doctors will marry other doctors. Attorneys will marry other attorneys, or an attorney will marry a doctor. Or at least someone with a degree, or at least somebody of a certain social class. But no, your main standard is beautiful. So you'll pass up a doctor who looks good but is not banging for a woman who looks great and ain't got shit going on for her except for she'll suck your dick and make you sandwiches. So you're not going for a woman because you specifically like that woman. You like that chick because she makes you look good. She's a beautiful chick that most guys can't get, so you can show off with her. I don't hear anything about what values you want her to have. I just hear she better not have kids, she better not be fat, and she better be banging. Oh, and she better not have an attitude. Really? That's all you require? You come from a certain class. I don't hear anything from you about not going below a certain class. Now, I don't necessarily think you would go below a certain class, but I don't hear you say it. All I hear is looks from you. And usually the things that people talk about the most are the things that are most important to them. Why is there no balance with you? Like I said, most men want an attractive woman, but they don't put that above everything. If they can find a reasonably attractive woman who has everything else, then that's good enough, but not you. And I'm trying to figure out why. Why do you have it in your head that you have to have the most beautiful woman in the world? Why is it not enough to just have a nice car? You got to have a big ass Humvee that takes up 4 lanes of traffic. You can't just wear a regular watch. It's got to weigh 10 pounds from all the jewels on it. Wearing a suit that looks nice and complements your body isn't good enough. It's got to be an Armani suit or Versace suit. And a good woman who's smart and looks nice, who isn't a beauty queen, isn't good enough for you. You got to have somebody who could walk the runway so you can show off. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then you go, boy. But don't act like there's something wrong with me if I can't attract you. You're the one on some bullshit, not me. And back to my original point, usually people, once they get a certain age, they grow out of this fantasy chick thing like what Captain Solo said. So that's why I said you don't sound like somebody who's fixing to be 30. And usually someone of a certain status wants someone else of that status or above. But I never hear you talk about maintaining status. And usually people who come from upper middle or upper classes are sticklers for maintaining a certain class. Also, people who are intelligent, and usually doctors are, want to be married to someone who is also intelligent. But I don't hear that from you. I just hear, she's got to be hot. Most doctors are not married to supermodels, and they're not expected to be. So I don't know why you feel like you are. You act like you're damn Hugh Hefner or something who's expected to be with beautiful chicks because that's part of his image. He's the fucking playboy guy. You don't have to have a hot wife. You want a hot wife so you can show off. A wife is just another accessory to you to make you look good. It doesn't even sound like you want to be a doctor for the love of medicine or because you can help people. Sounds like you just want the title. And that's why you got your fancy car and you're looking for your dime woman so you can just walk around and just say, I'm the shit.